anytime you let the game or an outcome of a game dictate and change who you are, I think that's something that you've got to really be honest with.
Welcome to the Created to Be podcast. We're so excited to have Darius back with us this week. What's up, Doc?
What's up? I'm glad to be back.
And of course, Justin's here.
Here I am.
Yes, we're going to be probably mainstays. We're so excited to have some personality back, though.
Marriage.
Yeah.
Stuck with me.
Yeah. We tried to hold our own last week, but we're missing Brandy again this week. But Darius, we're glad you're back. I don't know that people know all that you do. So I thought maybe if you want to share where you were, what you were up to.
Okay, so I do a pretty good bit of things. I was in Detroit, Michigan. I had to sing, and Santana was praying at a conference. And so we were both there serving. And it's always good to get away. You know, I did miss the podcast, so that was a little something, I was missing. But it is good to get away from home a little bit to kind of explore. And then also we got many friends and family that was in Detroit. So that was great to kind of get away and see them and just, for a small time and then get back, to the regular scheduled program.
Yeah. So what else do you are a youth pastor?
So I'm a youth pastor. I'm a insurance broker, a financial consultant, then of course chaplain with the basketball team. I'm also a youth director over the young people's department of the churches that we're a part of, and that consists of churches in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Like I'm the youth director over all of that. So a lot of my time is given to that. Plus I sing in my personal time. I got my own personal ministry singing. So my hand is in a lot of different things. But hey, they say too much is given, much is required, and I wanna live, and so I'm excited about all the things I get to do.
Yeah, so you bring a lot of interesting stories and experience to FCA here. And some people may not know, but within FCA, as far as staff is concerned, just because someone's on staff doesn't necessarily mean that they're full-time. So we have a variety of roles that people can play and engage with. And that's one thing that's been great. Over the past few years, they added an ambassador position, which means someone that can work, 10 hours or less a week?
Yeah.
And so we've been able to utilize that position to bring some people on board. So we have ambassadors, part-time staff, and full-time staff, interns, wide variety.
And I wanted to kind of plug this in because I was doing a lot of those things before I became a partner and a server with FCA. And I remember praying about some more open doors to be able to minister, to be able to connect, to be able to grow. And FCA provided me that opportunity. Just being able to work here, the experiences. And, I was a graduate of Mississippi State. So it's such a great honor for me to be able to come and serve where I graduated from, where I met my wife. Mm-hmm. And to talk about the Lord, the community, Christ, it has been something that has been so refreshing, rejuvenating. A lot of things that I've gotten here. It's amazing because things I've gotten here have helped me at home. And then some things at home have kind of helped me while I'm here. So literally, like the scripture says, all things have worked together for good. And so I'm just glad to be, a part of working with what you all are doing.
Yeah, we're excited to have Darius on the team.
Glad you're here, man.
Yeah, so we can talk a little bit about what happened this past week. Now, again, we record on Thursdays normally, and then it comes out on Tuesdays. And so the timing of things, we'll by the time this comes out, we'll have had the open mic, but we haven't had it yet. So we anticipate that at the huddle, and that'll be a great time. And we did get to talk to some of the students just about why we share stories. So we'll be sharing more of that feedback and what people have taken and how they've grown in FCA this semester on the next episode. But we did have a very spirited huddle this past week.
Yeah, spirited is a good word for it. Very competitive Jeopardy game.
Yes.
Along with some pizza. Mainly track took up most of the group because a lot of other teams went home. Track practices a lot, and so they happen to still be around, and we're really glad they were. Very intense team.
We're going to talk about pretty much the topic of the whole episode today is rivalries. I mean, that's going to be the stretch time, but also kind of stay in that vein for just our whole conversation today. And we might have generated some rivalries in the room on Monday night because Ben Murray with track got on a roll.
Yeah.
And they were getting
Jeopardy
accused that their team was getting accused of answering like the questions because they were Googling them. But Ben was just answering them.
Yeah.
So but they started way down in Jeopardy. They missed a few questions, so they were really far down. And Justin kept having to remind everyone, this is a long game. It's a long game. And they ended up winning. And Andrew Carlisle, I knew based on the question, the final Jeopardy question, I knew before we went into the huddle.
There's one guy.
There's one guy that's going to know this. And if whoever drafts Andrew on their team will get this question right. And Andrew did not disappoint.
No, he didn't.
What was the question, Justin? Maybe for the audience. It was City Egg Bowl 2015.
2015, which this receiver, I think, had 10 receptions and 144 yards.
Do you know?
2015.
15.
Won the Egg Bowl.
Someone said it's 50. So that was around the time that I was here as a student. So that means Dak Prescott was the quarterbacking. Was they with, the match is Mississippi State or Ole Miss?
It was the Egg Bowl. It was
Mississippi
State.
That was Mississippi State.
Yeah.
So in 15.
We're not going to have an Ole Miss.
Okay, I just want to be able to verify.
Sure.
In 15, so we had people like Fred Brown, we had Fred Ross, we had De'Runnya Wilson, I think Donald Gray, or he was, I don't know.
It's one of those
You've
three
said
you
it.
just mentioned.
Yeah, which one? Who are you going to go with?
I'm gonna say this. I'm going between.
How much are you wagering? No.
I'm going between De'Runnya Wilson and Fred Ross because Ross was always
Which one?
I'm gonna say Fred Ross.
Oh,
You got it.
I did.
Yeah,
Got it.
nice job. You know what's funny?
Let's go.
Another team put.
De'Runnya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they both had good guesses.
Because both of them, when I was here, they was like some of the main guys receiving.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was Final Jeopardy. So we knew because Andrew
10 for
Clark.
144.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a good day. Big day.
Yeah, that's.
It's a lot of catches.
But we knew whoever had Andrew.
He was
like,
Andrew's
he's a
gonna
long
get it,
ball.
yes.
Like he's gonna know this, and so he was pumped. I was so pumped that it played out that way. But it happened to be the track group that Ben Murray had been answering questions, and then Andrew. So it was a.
So Andrew was on Ben's team.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So they took it. But if he had been on another team, it would have been
still-
pretty
yeah,
dramatic because it would have stolen the whole thing.
Wow.
But yeah, they talk about learning. We learned a lot. You know, we have Shay and Jeremiah serve that team, so we hear from them just how spirited their growth room meetings are.
The unique thing
It was
about
really
track,
cool.
and this is coming from a baseball perspective, but I've been told this before, track is multiple families in one big team.
Mhm.
And so you have all these different position
Oh,
groups.
gotcha.
You got sprinters, you got jumpers, you got throwers, you got middle distance, you got long distance, you got all these different, and then you got the heptathletes and the pole vaulters, or decathletes, all of them. And so they're all in kind of these different groups, and they all train in different groups most of the time. And so when they get together in the meets, it's like a family reunion.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's just so many different families within the big family. And so it's a lot of fun when you get them together. And the growth room, as I know, like that as well. Anyway, it's just a very unique team.
So I
Unique
felt
to
like
any other team.
So I felt like we got to step into their world, like them all, mainly them being the one to show up on Monday night and like host them. So it was very.
And then with track, you throw in the world aspect too. You have people from all different countries. So it's just. It's
What's his
such
name that said that one of the questions was 1 billion views about like
A billion. It was
did
Nick.
he say million?
Yeah, he said 1 million.
And then we were hard on him, Darius. We were like, if you don't say what is. Or if you don't say, like, one of the teams, the answer was Psalm 23:1. It was like, what verse?
Yes.
And they said, our son Eli was on Jeremiah's team, and he just repeated Jeremiah and said Psalm 23. And Justin had to look at him and be like, no. And it was rough. And so, but I mean,
And then I think one of the things that we underestimate is these people are competitive.
oh.
So because they're competitors, it's like, some people when they don't want to lose at anything. So
I mean, they were playing for a bag
but it's the you know what I'm learning? It's the thrill of being able to say I beat you.
That's right.
Like
that's a good segue, Darius.
I
You
mean
do that on purpose.
No, it's the thrill of saying I won. Like I know people. You don't want to play them in anything. And me, I'm bad because if I win, I won't play you again. I make you sit in the feeling of defeat
for as long as possible.
and for as long as possible.
Okay, let me ask this: did either one of you have like a childhood rivalry friend that you competed with like that?
I had one guy. So I have to give you the backstory. So where I went to Shannon High School, at the time, it was 3 middle schools to make up one high school. So I was not planning on playing football. Look how small I am. I'm like, but what happened, I was already going to be on the basketball team. That was already a given. But all of my friends went to play football, and then I found out they was doing a 9th grade team, which I knew the people in my grade at the other 2 schools. So I'm going to go try out. I try out for the team and make it as a wide receiver. It was a guy that was a wide receiver like me, short. We was literally short, glasses. But the difference was the middle school team, he went to Shannon Middle School, and they ran the same offense as Shannon High School. So where I'm having to learn the plays, he already knows them. And we used to compete. I would be so mad because I'm like, he's not better than me. But because he knows the plays.
Right.
And you know how we get into this, you second string, I'm first string. And so one day, the coach, he made us hit up against each other. And I hit him so hard. I mean, I put all of my strength. I hit him so hard I broke my shoulder pads. Like it caused the strap to break.
Wow.
But it was such a collision and we were so small. The coach said, get up and run it again. Y'all need to see how they are running. He wanted everybody. So the next time though, he let the guy hit me and he laid into me. So we literally had to go against each other in the Oklahoma drill like 4 times. And he became a little rivalry for me. Like,
was this a known rivalry beside your?
No, we both knew. Like he knew and I knew.
Were you cool off the field or y'all were?
What's crazy is he ended up becoming one of my best friends.
Yeah.
He ended up becoming one of my best friends. And to this day, we still talk. I mean, it's amazing how those things kind of start off. But that was a personal rival because I did not like him. And then, you know, we small. So you got the little man syndrome, you sizing each other up, you know, and when you're small, you always look for somebody that's your size because every time you're playing, you the smallest one. Then you finally, okay, I know this is who I'm gonna guard. This is who I'm going against. And but he actually kept playing football. That was more of his thing. I was a basketball player, so I ended up stopped playing. But we became best of friends. But he was a rivalry for me. Like we knew, like when I see you and when you see me, you know, we want to outdo each other. But
yeah. What about you, Justin?
No, I think growing up, it was just my brother.
Yeah.
You know, 10-year age difference. So, like, big gap there. But I always wanted to beat Jason. Oh, yeah. I was younger, which is part of the reason why I became so competitive, I think, is because I was trying to get after him. And I also had a neighborhood friend who was a little bit older than me named Bubba Dobbs.
Of course you got it.
And he was also left-handed. And but Bubba lived right down the street, so he would come and play. And, I couldn't beat Bubba a whole lot either, but maybe a wiffle ball in the bag occasionally. But yeah, just playing against people that were older than me, I think kind of stirred some things. I think once I got further up, it was more of a team thing. Like I had to win my position on a team. So like you have some of those, like you're trying to beat that person, but it was so much more of a team thing. I didn't think about personal rivalries maybe in high school and college.
What's your story about not in front of Bubba?
Oh, God. Okay, so growing up, I lost to Bubba in the front yard. We were playing football, something, and I wasn't real happy about it. So I got the ball and I threw it at Bubba. Just threw it at him. I was mad when he wasn't looking. And it didn't hurt him at all because it hit him, but it was like, whatever. My dad saw it. My dad was working in the yard, working on the hydrangea bushes or something. He proceeds to see that and starts ripping his belt off and just starts smoking me. And I'm like, Dad, I'm like, not in front of Bubba. And yeah, very teachable moment for me.
Wow.
Yeah, so not in front of Bubba.
Not in front of Bubba.
Yeah.
I was remembering that I ran cross country in high school, and I kind of just discovered I could run. Like, my sister needed to get faster for basketball and had gotten some track workouts. So she was a few years older than me. So in middle school, I just went and did the track workouts with her one summer. So then when cross country season rolled around, normally basketball, for whatever reason, had to always run cross country. And so I just was like winning some stuff, you know? So I was like, oh, cool, I can run. Well, there was this really good, like, always winning district, moving on runner in a town in our like rivalry town. Justin knows these towns, but I was in Bridgeport, Texas at the time, and this was Decatur. And I would compare, like, Bridgeport feels like Mississippi State and Decatur feels like Ole Miss. Like, it's just that kind of differences. And I beat her at one of a race, and I was just like shocked. But I don't think she ever felt like I was a rival, but it was like in my head, she was a rival, you know?
Yeah.
And I was younger. I was much younger than her. So I was very shocked that I beat her. But there was always people on, you know, either it was cross country, like I moved to a new town and there was a girl that was like the person that won on that team and always placed first. And I competed and challenged her and ended up becoming the top runner. And so you have these, like, you know, they might not be outspoken, but you have the people, like you were saying, you kind of like size up, like, okay, we're about right there. And then, but it does make you better. I mean, if you let it make you better, you know, because you can, you know, challenge each other in practice, things like that.
Well, I think, like, with you saying that, now I did have some. So I'm just gonna say this. Basketball was my thing. Like, from the time I started watching it, it was it. I was so in love with basketball. And my dad, when I was like 5 or 6, my dad's friend was the coach of Shannon High School. He told my dad, no, I was like 4. He told my dad to give me a regular size basketball. Because, you know, when you kids, you play with the smaller one.
Yeah.
He told him to give me a regular size. He said, because he'll handle it better. So by the time I was 7 or 8, I could dribble a ball like a older person. So I say that because basketball was my thing. The only thing I did was play basketball. I didn't learn how to ride a bike just until I was 13.
What?
Because all I did was play basketball. And the only reason why I learned how to ride a bike, because they was playing basketball somewhere where I couldn't walk.
So you were motivated.
Got motivated. Mom, I need a bike. I'm out there at 13, my dad trying to help me to learn to ride a bike at 13.
I think that's hard.
Oh, people laughing at me, but I was falling, but I was motivated because I wanted to go play basketball. So I say that.
Show up to the court with a bunch of skint knees.
Exactly. And so, but I say that because it was one guy that was my cousin. Everybody was talking about how good he was. I never saw him, but my dad was like, that's your cousin. And it was like a movie. One day I'm over my godmom's house and I'm just out there dribbling a ball, just dribbling. And I see this kid come up about my age. I can tell he's my age, but he's taller, got braids in his hair. Look, he come up doing the same thing that I'm doing. He's dribbling and we come to meet each other. And I'm like, so what's up? What's your name? You know, as kids. And he told me who he was. And he's this guy I've been hearing about. So soon as I see him, I'm like, okay, I'm checking about. I got to. And so it's kind of like you said, though, it's an inner competition. And so in middle school, we end up having to play them. Because he was one of the middle schools that made up once we got to high school. And I heard from somebody that he was averaging like 20 points a game. And I said, I got to outdo that. So when I became a chucker, I was, and then it helped me because my team wasn't that good. So I could shoot as much as I wanted, but I ended up averaging like 23 points a game, but I just wanted to outdo him. Mm-hmm. Like it was an inner competition. And but as we got older, he just continued to grow. And he went on to play in college. But it's like what you were saying, sometimes it's that inner motivation.
Yeah.
Of what someone else that you know that, okay, I know they're going to show up and be their best self. I have to outdo that. And that it motivated me to try to become as best as I could, as I could be.
Yeah. We're going to get into more about rivalries in this stretch time. But one of the games that stands out to me that was kind of like that unspoken outdo each other moment that I've seen in my time at Mississippi State was a couple years ago when we played Kentucky, which would be Josh Hubbard's freshman year, I believe. and Reed Shepherd was playing for Kentucky at the time.
Yeah.
And it was but Reed would make a shot, Josh would make a shot. Like, I didn't realize until further into the game, I was like, this is really about them. Like, this is,
Yeah.
and so after the game, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure Reed Shepherd hit the winning shot.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
He did.
Josh made a shot to put us ahead, and then Reed came
There's
down.
very little time left.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No rebound. If we would have got the rebound in the game.
Man, it was tough. And I was motivated. I mean, Justin was out of town, and I hauled all the kids to the game. I was like, we are going to watch Kentucky. So we thought it was, ours after that shot. We went crazy.
Damn.
But afterwards on Instagram, there was a really cool exchange between Reed and Josh on social media. And so I just thought this is a good example of, clearly on the court, they weren't being nasty to each other, but you could tell they were kind of sparring, And then afterwards, just the respect between the two. I like that.
They both had like 30 plus.
Oh, it was crazy.
I've seen Josh do that a couple times, though. I don't know if you remember last year. It was last year when we played Alabama and Sears came. And Sears is like this preseason player of the year, and Josh go out for 38. And you could just
I remember
you
that.
could just tell he had a
little chip.
Yeah, you could just tell he had a look in his eye. He got that chip on his shoulder, and I feel like because he did it a few weeks ago when we played Kansas State, because Kansas State has a guy, Haggerty,
and
who was at Memphis. He was at Memphis.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, he was at Memphis, and this year he's at Kansas State. But you could tell, like, it got to one point during the game, Haggerty goes down, scores. Josh come down, scores.
Right.
Yeah.
Haggerty goes down, scores. Josh go down and score. It's like you could tell. It's like that. They're not saying nothing.
Right.
But it's like.
But you're picking up on the story.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
We see what's going on.
Well, they were going at it. And Josh, and we had a better game as a team, beat Memphis.
Right.
This game, Kansas State had a much better game than we did. Haggerty had like 38. So
yeah,
probably in Haggerty's mind, I got covered.
Yeah.
It's good for him. Good game for him.
It was, but it's to see that competitive spirit though. That's it's like you said, the game within the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we might have a callback to that because I think as we get to the end of this conversation, there are some. It's just rivalries are really interesting, and I think that they can be done in a way that is fun and competitive,
honoring,
but honoring and pushing each other. Like so. Anyways, we'll get to that, but just wanted to mention that about Josh. But yeah, the stretch time is about that because as we said, we're recording today, but we have a game coming up against Ole Miss, and also a lot of teams have their it's rivalry weekend.
Yeah, this is in a lot of ways one of the best weeks of football. I mean, it's what you look forward to.
Yeah,
because also these games have college playoff.
Yes.
And then when your rival could take you out of the college playoff conversation,
right. Now
it's a lot at stake,
or out of the SEC title game, or whatever, maybe not a bowl game.
It's a bowl game for us. So if we win, it's a lot.
There's a lot of storylines this year.
Man, a lot.
Every year, there's always storylines.
Yeah.
I guess for us, though, with what we've gone through the last few years, this is probably one of the bigger egg bowls because last year we was not going to make anything. The year before that, did we make it?
Same.
I was going to say, the same. We wasn't making anything. So this year, it's like you got a chance to extend your season. You got a chance to ruin their season and to get the Golden Egg Bowl all in one. Like, it's just a lot on the line. Yeah. And then with the possibility of we don't know what Lane Kiffin is going to do. So some people say you can put the nail in the coffin. I mean, we don't know, but I think.
Nail in the Kiffin?
Look, that's a good one. Hey. The nail in the Kiffin. So, I think it's something to kind of look forward to, and it can be exciting. I was going to ask you, Justin, and you too, Bethany. I can ask both of y'all. Being a former athlete in baseball, and you with basketball, how big was it to beat Ole Miss? Was that a?
I would tell you a story from my freshman year. I call my freshman year was like the dark ages in women's basketball because we were in between Tan White and LaToya Thomas have graduated. And then Mary Catherine Govero was a player that came. I mean, there was a lot of good players in between there, but just players that really took the team on their back. And anyway, So I was in that space in between. So we were kind of in that like rebuilding year. We only won 6 games my freshman year, 1 conference game.
Ouch.
But the win was against Ole Miss at Ole Miss.
Oh, man.
So if you're going to win one game,
That's the one you need to win.
in SEC when you're struggling. Yeah. So, but I came from Texas, so I had to learn that Mississippi State didn't like Ole Miss. So it was kind of like, okay, what's the big deal? I mean, my dad went to Texas A&M, and he's not a super alumni fan. I mean, now he just likes to pick at me because SEC with A&M and Mississippi State in the same conference now. Like, I feel like he cares a little bit more about A&M just to bother me. But anyway, so I didn't really grow up with a lot of rivalry talk or, as far as college sports. But Justin probably could answer a little bit more because you came in with more of all of that.
Yeah, it was mainly the fan bases were tough. Like playing in Oxford, it's not like, you don't want to go play. You don't get excited about playing on the road necessarily. But going to Oxford, it was just not the most pleasant place at times. I didn't mind pitching in it. I liked pitching it, and I liked pitching away just because I liked having the opportunity to get crowd quiet and not in the game. I like that.
That's
that
satisfying.
Fueled me a bit. It is satisfying.
That's so funny.
At the same time, I think what fueled it's because a lot of us knew each other, and so a lot of us got recruited by both.
Yeah.
And some wanted to come one place, some wanted to go the other. But it just panned out this way. And so
you wanted to go to
battling for state. No, I did not want to go.
That's what you are. Is that what you're implying?
There are others that wanted to come to state that ended up going to Ole Miss. And
he's like, let me be clear.
Maybe vice versa. I'm not sure. I didn't really talk to many of the guys that go, but anyway, I think that fueled it as well. And then, it's nice to beat them. It is definitely nice to beat them. And in baseball, but there's so much as well in baseball. So, you need to beat them to help you in your own season and your own status to hopefully host. So,
well, I'll tell y'all this as a fan who was not actually a part of the field of play, but I'm going to tell y'all this. Growing up in a house like I grew up, with a family like I grew up, you do not want to lose to them in anything.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to say this. I used to be a person once I would support Ole Miss as long as they were not playing Mississippi State until they started thinking they're blue bloods, they're better than everybody. It got to the point where it's like, okay, I don't want you to win anything. Not against us. I don't care if you're playing Citadel. I don't care if you're playing West Point High School. I don't want you to win in anything. And see, with the place I work, yesterday we had our Thanksgiving dinner. We always try to do a company Thanksgiving dinner. I rolled in there with my Mississippi State sweater on, with my Mississippi State hat, and I wanted them to fully understand this is Egg Bone Week. Because, our Minnie Price Harrington works with me. So when she shows up, she works with me. So when she shows up, I wanted her to understand and know who we are, what we representing, and let her understand that I don't care that you played at Ole Miss or none of those play. It's about Mississippi State over here.
That's so funny.
She's really good.
She's really good. She had a very interesting type of basketball.
Yeah, she's great. And I want to say that she is a great person, though. I mean, of course, a great hooper, but also a great person.
Yeah, I saw a lot of shots going.
I've softened up a bit now.
You have?
Well, look, it's
because of FCA.
Maybe. I know FCA staff over there. I love those guys, and we are always supporting each other in every way and supporting the coaches, and so
pray for me. I ain't there yet.
Yeah, well,
I'm not there yet.
I get it. As a player now, I wanted them to lose at everything.
Yeah, but
and then even beyond a few years, I wanted them to lose at everything. I think now and you know what? And it all comes down to the coaches too. Coaches can fuel this thing and turn it south the other way. So like Dan Mullen fueled that thing.
Yes,
it was a good place. And so, and so then you got them lifting their leg, egg bowl, all that stuff, like they're peeing and whatever, like a dog peeing. And so like that fueled things because Mullen fueled stuff. And so it really the rivalry was not in a really good space during that time. It was pretty bitter. I feel like now Leach and Kiffin had such a respectable relationship. It kind of mellowed out to be more respectful. But yeah, the fan bases are still rough on those.
I mean, I heard someone tell me the other day they will not take.
No, there's no point to. Like just
how things could pan out, or like how people just don't act right, like fans, I think.
Yeah.
But I think now this is me, I just felt like the Egg Bowl was better when it was intense. Like the niceness of it with like you was talking about Legion Lane. I feel like that because I feel like it took some of that fire away, because it's like that's what added to the antics. It added to the, you know what I mean? And now it's like, I don't like feeling like, I do like the underdog mentality, because I always was an underdog. So but I don't like that little engine that could like go out, let's go out.
No, you go.
No. And I'm saying after the game, we can shake hands, we can kumbaya, but all of the letting it be known we don't like them. We can't stand them.
Well,
and I like that, because to me that's what makes a rivalry a rivalry.
Yes, I get that.
This is the minister everyone of justice.
I'm not for the fights and the.
No, I don't want the fight.
But there was a lot of fights during that era, a lot of fights. So I don't like the fights, but I don't mind a little breath, getting in each other, smelling each other's breath, and kind of just kind of But no, I don't want them fights. No, I don't. A little rough. I mean,
keep hands and feet and all other objects to you.
I mean, Fitzgerald's ankle.
Now, see that? I don't like that.
See, people could look at that and be like, it was intentional. I don't know. It looks funky. It looks funky. I'm not going to say that for the guy. I don't know that for sure, but it looked a little rough, and I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't. That's the kind of stuff I don't want. Let's get after it. Let's go back and forth. Let's have some intense. Let's have some battles. Let's get after it. But I don't like the chippy and the bush league stuff.
Yeah.
And then another element that's added, I don't think, is, you said something earlier that we don't have as much today. A lot of the guys were from Mississippi.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, so we talked about this is the least actually Mississippi Egg Bowl maybe ever.
From the players, right.
Yeah.
And then it's different, because when I was here, it was unheard of, criminal, for a player to transfer from Mississippi State and go to Ole Miss or vice versa. But now it's natural. It's like it's normal. I mean, and it is not just with us. It's with anybody that has rivalries. People, Brendan Thompson, who's with us, he started out at Texas. Then he transfers to Oklahoma, which is a great big-time rival. And then he's now with us. So I'm saying I feel like that also takes some of the fuel out of it, because it's like we didn't go across the street.
In the past, you were looking at the exact numbers. I've seen some numbers, but half the team used to be from Mississippi for both teams, just about. Now we're at like a third.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yeah, maybe
I think it's in the 30s this year. It's 33 and 34, I think, for each team.
That's crazy.
Yeah. In the past, it was more closer in the 50s. So, yeah, that changes things. So you're talking about people that grew up watching this. They get it.
Yeah.
All right, being Mississippi kids. And so that adds fuel to it. So I can even say that from the baseball perspective. This is a different one. Playing against USM. Okay, USM is not necessarily a rival, but it's a Mississippi in-state game that is rough. These guys, most of them at the time last year didn't know much from Mississippi. They didn't realize going to USM and playing baseball was going to be so intense. Mm-hmm. They don't like us. This is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, they don't like it. Because I don't say this from USM. Most of them wanted to come up here. Mm-hmm. All right. And they didn't. And they were at USM. Nothing wrong with USM. I'm not speaking down to USM. I've got go Golden Eagles. All right. To the top, whatever. So in all that, but they didn't realize they'd be so hateful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, this is in state. You don't get this. They just don't. They don't grab. They don't grasp it. And so, I'll get to the point. Without as many Mississippi people, it's just not good for the rivalry.
I've heard that with different sports, that players are having to explain to other players that have transferred in why this is such a big deal. So even if the players change, the fans kind of stay the same. So the fans are carrying.
The fans dictate the rivalry.
And then you have a team that might come out that might not be prepared or take it as seriously. And then that's disappointing to the fans. So there's like a whole, that's a lot going on. But okay, so I looked up some research of sorts about rivalry games. And so here's a definition, okay? A competition between two teams or schools that have a long-standing history of intense, emotional, and often tradition-filled matchups. It's more than just a regular game. That's why everybody gets so hyped up for it. There's history to it. There's high stakes. Even if, nothing else was on the line this weekend, there would still be bragging rights.
Bragging
And we do
rights,
have a
right.
trophy. You know, most of these rivalry games have trophies.
Michigan, Ohio State being one of those. Ryan Day has not beaten Michigan. They think he's lost the last 4. They were thinking about firing Ryan Day, but he wins a national championship last year. So I'm assuming his job is secure.
Right.
But there is the pressure again of you have not beaten Michigan in 4, maybe 5 times right now.
Like the fans care about that. That's the
fans
point.
care about that up there in a massive way. Continue.
Yeah. So you have emotional energy involved. You have the tradition. And then you have the identity, which is so interesting to me because I guess, you know, depending on where you grew up and what's important to your family and the values that you have, like there's an article that talks about rivalries and how people want to feel with these rivalries that they feel part of something bigger, like that there's a self-esteem that they have that builds their self-esteem to be part of this larger group that can't stand these other people in this other program. So anyway, that's part of it. But do y'all know, you might have already looked at the notes, but do you know the oldest college rivalry?
The oldest?
It's got to be one of the Ivy Leagues. So it's got to be Yale, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, something.
You said, I'm going to go, man, I don't know. You said oldest, man, who been playing since forever?
Justin was right. It was Yale, Princeton, which is kind of like the not necessarily documented one, and then Harvard, Yale in 1875.
8. Okay.
Back in the day.
One of the oldest and most well-known.
That's back in the day.
Apparently it's just called The Game. I also noticed that I looked up some, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but like Egg Bowl highlights over the years. And they have I wanted to go back and forth and see if y'all recognize what people start terming things off of these games. Like we talked about the Auburn-Alabama game and how it was called the
Kick Six.
Kick Six. I just think it's so interesting. These names emerge
That's
from
when they
these
kicked
titles.
it and the guy ran it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Auburn. I remember that.
One of the questions I had was, what is the oldest form of a rivalry? Like normally if you Google this, college football is going to come up. But when did people figure out this is a thing to compete? So can you think of a sporting event that might have initiated all this, or a type of sport? Maybe not sporting.
Well,
what would you
if
guess?
it's sport, you go back to the original. You got the Olympics and where that came from in the whole Rome piece. I'm assuming it started back sometime back then.
Okay. Do you have a specific idea of what it might have been? What the competition might have been?
Well, I mean, they did Rome and chariots races.
Justin's on point today.
But then, you had I don't know, is that it?
Yeah. Chariot racing clubs in the Roman Empire.
Let's go.
What?
There you
okay.
Go. Did you read my notes?
Or were you born in 1875?
Well, Rome was way.
Yeah. Okay, I did want to ask y'all some questions real quick about in just a second.
Date? You have a date for that?
It just says that's the earliest.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking that's what we know, the Coliseum and all that.
Yeah,
but then USA and Canada and cricket in 1853 was another one. Yeah, so that was another,
Cricket.
Okay, one of the things that I didn't realize about rivalries is that there can be a lot per team. Like normally I always think in state, but when we were watching Arkansas and Texas the other day, Jesse Palmer and Joe Tessitore were the commentators and they had the camera on them. And I thought it was funny because, I mean, I don't know, I'm not there, but I felt like Joe gave Jesse a very odd look when Jesse said, this is one of the oldest rivalries in college football or something, or was storied or whatever. And I even kind of had this, why in the world did he just say that? But one of the qualifiers for a rivalry that I learned is how often they play each other. Like that's kind of a qualifier of, is this a rivalry or not? So can you, I keep doing guessing questions because I'm wanting to know, how many times do you think Arkansas and Texas have met to play? What's your ballpark guess?
6, 7.
6, 7.
God.
67.
150 times.
Okay, 81 times.
Okay.
So somewhere in between there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a lot because.
But it's Texas, a lot, but it doesn't seem like that.
Texas just came to the SEC, so they must have been in another conference.
They were in the Southwest.
Something like that years ago.
Yeah. That was the Coach Hatfield, Arkansas teams, Southwest Conference.
Was that before or after leather helmets?
No, it wasn't that long ago.
Okay, so here's some others. Do these sound weird to you? Like, I don't know why this Alabama Clemson is a rivalry.
So I'm gonna say this. I think rivalries are not just how many times they have played. There could be other aspects like people who have been champions. Because I remember one time it was almost like Clemson and Alabama were meeting for either they were playing in the championship, or they were, meeting up. So I'm saying that could be
3 to 4 year stretch.
It's kind of like whenever you beat that person and you're like,
when I see them again, yes. And then it becomes because I know Clemson for one stretch, they went to the championship like almost 3 years in a row. And then you have Bama who was winning all of those championships. So it's like, I think you can have a rivalry in that aspect as well. It's like, it's not about how many times you have played, but what's all at stake that's connected to those different teams. Because besides what they have done recently, I don't see where and why Clemson and Alabama will be around.
You can go Tom Brady, Peyton Manning there for a bit.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Like that players could kind of.
Players.
Yes.
So we had Mahomes and Josh Allen a little bit. Colts, Bills.
Yep.
Bills beat them in the regular season. Colts beat them in the postseason.
And then you'd also going to have Mahomes and Brady. Because, he beat him with the Buccaneers. Brady beat him with the Buccaneers. And then Brady didn't play him with the Patriots, did he? Did he play?
Maybe. I think he did.
I think he's like the first year. Yeah.
He freshman year.
I think it was just shocking to me to see, if you Google this and get on Wikipedia, like there's a lot that, it's Wikipedia, but, Alabama, Arkansas, and Auburn that I was kind of surprised by, that I would be like, why do I care so much?
I think you go with the ones that have trophies listed on there.
See, I think it's like Arkansas and LSU is a rivalry.
Yeah.
They'll be playing for a trophy. You got Auburn and Alabama, Iron Bowl, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, Georgia Tech.
Right. In-state. That's what
They are there, but then you have the Texas and Oklahoma.
Right.
I could see Arkansas and Texas, I guess, because of state line.
Yeah.
Like how
it was just so shocked. I was like, wait, what did he just say? And did he just mess up on air? Like, that's no way. And then you Google it and you're like, oh, no, it's a thing. So anyways, that was just interesting. Another interesting thing that I found was that Texas A&M and Texas, before they started playing football against each other, when they established those schools, they had very distinct ways that they wanted Texas to do life. So each school kind of represented this different vision of what they wanted Texas, the state, to be
represented.
And so I was like, wow, I don't know that necessarily translates to football, but just where maybe some of those things started about pitting against each other was actually potentially like a way of life that we do things in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's almost like the game is a representation of our way's better than your way, or we want this. And that's kind of.
I was going to say it's fitting because even when you look at the fans, they don't even look the same. Like the way they carry themselves, Texas A&M fans and Texas fans look completely different. It's like different cultures.
Yeah. So it's just interesting to think like it could go back even further to something where like the university was established in a state, especially obviously the in-state rivalries. I don't really get the ones that are outside of the state. I'd have to do some more on that. But anyway, just some little facts about rivalries that I've learned as I've researched this stuff. I wanted to ask if y'all knew some of these Egg Bowl moments. Okay. All right. So, do you know the term feed Moncrief?
Yeah, I remember when.
What happened?
Is it Dante
Mm-hmm.
Moncrief? He had a great year. He had a great season. He had a couple great seasons. Played for the Colts for a while. Didn't pan out super well in the NFL, but was a very, very good.
He had a super great game.
He had a great game, and they just kept throwing the ball. So it was just kind of throughout the year, it was feed Moncrief.
And then it
just became a saying.
Yeah.
And then it was bad for us because I remember that particular game he went off. We had Banks, who's a Thorpe Award winner.
Yeah.
And it's like
Banks couldn't even stop him, right?
Yeah. It's like he made Banks look normal.
Do y'all think current players, and if anybody's out there listening, maybe could comment on this part. Do you think current players check the history of a school that they go to? Like that they care to be connected to like how great someone did and become someone in the record books at the school?
I feel like it's very dependent on who it is.
Mm-hmm.
like when you look at Florida, I'll use Florida. Tim Tebow by himself made a lot of people say, I want to play for that. And you get what I'm saying? So I think it's more player driven. But I feel like now with the things like NIL and all those different things, some people don't even care. It's like,
no, I think too, if you could get a chance to go to somewhere like Ohio State, you go, okay, look at the receivers in the NFL and what they're doing.
Right.
That is wide receiver.
Yes.
You go to quarterback, you could probably say OU because they had so many quarterbacks out of that stretch. That was Lincoln Riley and a little bit before. Tight end. Do you want to be a tight end in the NFL? Go to Iowa. Iowa will develop you. There's 5 or 6 starting tight ends in Iowa. So like there's places that just pump out people. Georgia, half the defense. All the running backs from Georgia's team a few years ago was in the NFL playing for the Eagles and one of the other teams I can't think of. So, like, I mean, if you think of being a linebacker, you think about going to Georgia or whatever.
Yeah, so, I just think as people come in, everybody just moves around so much. I think that baseball here is an example of a program that has a storied history, but is doing a good job to reintroduce that history to fans and players to like cultivate that a little bit more, to make it more of something that you're attached to. And even if you're moving around to know where you're at, and want to be part of it. And so I don't know. I mean, even bringing back all the alumni and stuff, it's just like you hear these names and we could be saying all these names and people have no idea because I didn't really look any of that up.
There's a great balance there of living so much in the past and then connecting everybody, though. Because, man, I think every year we're talking about some team in the 90s for football, and I think we're all like, wait to be good again. Like, and obviously we'll talk about the DAC season forever, but I mean,
but that's why
where it's like, all right, we've celebrated this team every year for the last 20 years.
But it's also good to know where a team, what the potential is being in this place. If we haven't won consistently, but like that certain things happen here. So that you can know it's possible.
Random story, but I mean, I remember Picky and we won state championship for the first time in 2002 at my high school. And I feel like from that year on, all the teams that came after us when we got out of there in 2003 just were berated of being like, be like the 02 team, the 02 team. And they haven't done anything since. They've had a couple of good teams, but it's just the pressure of the whole thing has been, and I think they just stopped. Eventually, finally, be like, okay, stop bringing up 2002.
Yeah, which might be a good topic for another episode. Like, how do you know where you're at, but also how moving forward?
I mean, I feel like Justin made a great point. Like wide receivers going to Ohio State, because you look at what they've been just pumping into the league the last 5 years. Like they are, and not just good in college, they're producing in the league. So I do believe players actually take a look into those things. You look at our school, like a Josh Herbert with basketball. One of the things I started noticing with a lot of the recruits that we were going after, they kept referencing him. Like he was able to come in as a freshman and Jazz trusted him to play. So that kind of weighs on the mind. I do believe that goes on a little bit. But I do believe the money aspect has just changed a lot of that because it gets to the point where it's like most people are trying to get to the next level.
Right.
Well, if I can quote unquote make some form of next level dollars, I'll look past you haven't put anybody in the, because I was looking at like BYU and basketball, like they getting some of the top players, and you think about basketball, like they always have been good, but it's like you getting top 3 players in the nation. So it's one of those things. I do think I think they're doing a little bit of both. I think the signing up, the finding players who want to be a part of something, just purely a part of something. I don't think you have too much of that. I don't think, because you have people like a Josh who possibly could go anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Isaac Smith who possibly could go anywhere, but they're choosing to be here. I feel like that speaks a lot about, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a changer. So
yeah. So okay, another one that's on here: pick and the kick.
I remember the pick and the kick.
What was the situation?
And I'm gonna tell you why I remember the pick and the kick. Because the quarterback, I had a cousin that was playing for Ole Miss at the time, and the quarterback went to my high school. That's when Romero threw the interception. They threw a pass when they should have ran it, I think. And the ball bounces off the guy's foot, and we picked it off, and then we end up kicking the field goal to win the game. It was in Starkville. I remember that.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
not
Romero Miller was the quarterback from Shannon.
Okay.
He was the quarterback right before Eli.
okay. Yeah,
Okay,
I
this was
remember that.
before y'all's time, but it says immaculate deflection.
Oh, I remember it though. I know it was before my time, but I remember watching it.
Immaculate
crazy.
deflection.
Okay, this is when we're going to kick to win the game. Okay, and it's a routine
Sorry,
kick.
I
It's not
should've
that far
laughing.
away. I don't know if it was 40 yards.
It doesn't say.
Okay. 40-mile-an-hour wind blows as the ball's kicked. It's in the air. It's going through the uprights. The wind blows. The thing goes backwards and lands short. It's crazy. It was like almost
wins.
into the uprights, and then it just goes.
Hold
It just
on, hold on,
blows
hold on.
it straight back.
So the wind,
The wind blew it straight back, and it did not go through the
I
uprights.
know,
That's-
something to good.
should they not give us a free kick?
No, it just, I don't know.
Immaculate
what happened there,
deflection.
man.
I just think these terms are so funny. What about Tubbs goes for 2?
No, I don't know that.
No, I looked it up, but I didn't.
1997, Ole Miss trailed by 7 with just over 2 minutes left, but capped a comeback with a 10-yard touchdown reception to win the game.
I'm sure I was upset about it when I
Yeah.
was 13.
Okay, you mentioned this one, Justin. Dog leg lifts.
Oh,
I
yeah, it
remember
became a
that.
thing. It really bit him in the butt. This was the year we had the gold helmets, I think. That's just what I remember. And anyway, I forget the receiver who did it.
Elijah Moore.
Elijah
I
Moore.
remember.
They were winning. This put them up. A touchdown. Oh, they tied it.
They was
Tied
gonna,
it.
the extra point was gonna tie it.
Yeah, the extra point was going to tie it. They came back. They were pumped. He goes and acts like he's peeing on the field like a dog in the end zone. They get a penalty that moves the field goal, the extra point back. The kicker misses the extra point, and we win that game. Ouch. I do remember Bo Wallace fumbling a ball, too, in the end zone.
Yes.
That saved us a game as well.
That's when that game had so many storylines because you remember Dak wasn't supposed to play. Dak comes in, I think the fourth quarter, scores the game-winning touchdown. The crowd rallies behind him. We go to overtime and Bo Wallace fumbles.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. So in 2018, there was another game where we won convincingly, 35-3.
I
You
remember.
remember this?
Oh, well, no, 35-3. What year was it?
This says 2018. Sometimes the dates are wrong on these things.
No, that might have been right. I remember one year we went to Oxford and we just blowed the doors off.
But this was about a fight that happened afterwards.
No, so that wasn't that game. So that's why I said, so I remember 2 games. So the game you're referring to is when we was fighting them toward the end and helmets were getting pulled
Do you know how
off.
many ejections there were?
No, I don't
It
remember.
says 4. 4 ejections from the game. Going back to that.
But one of the things I do remember about that game is one of the players pulled Ole Miss quarterback's helmet off. But a Mississippi State guy grabbed the Ole Miss quarterback and pulled him away from the crowd where he would get hurt. Because everybody, you
You
know how
got Samaritan.
yeah, I was like, that was nice. Because I'm like, it was finna get bad. Like, everybody got on helmets but you know.
Yeah. We talked about I think, was the pass to Ross from Nick Fitzgerald. Did we talk about that one? Or was that a different year?
I don't know. It was 15.
Because this says 2016, but my information.
So that could have
Dak
been
year
an
was
issue.
14, so it was who was after Dak? Was it Fitz?
This was after that.
Yeah, like right after Dak. Yeah.
So that's memorable. And then it says upsets and fantastic finishes. The 1981 game was one of the biggest upsets in the series history, with Mississippi State ranked number 7 and Ole Miss at 3-6-1. I don't know how. I should have Googled like how many of these games have either team been ranked. You know, like who has been more ranked in the history of it. Do y'all know? I have to.
Oh, probably Ole Miss.
I often say, yeah,
I'd say
probably
Ole
Ole
Miss
Miss, because
has.
when they had what's his name?
Vault
Vault.
Hemingway.
Yeah, I think when he was they was just,
Rolling.
yeah, they was rolling.
Yeah.
like in the 60s or something.
Yeah, that's Arch Manning.
Okay. So why do you think that it's enjoyable? Like, people like to sit around and talk about this stuff. Maybe guys more than girls, but like,
it's
why?
just memories. It's memories. It takes you back to different moments. You remember the people involved. It's just it's a state thing. It's a pride thing. It's an identity thing. It's all that, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
It just, and it's your side against theirs, and it's just, it's kind of like talking about the weather. You could just
Remember that? Yeah, maybe it's kind of a frame of reference. Like, you were there, I was there. You don't have to explain so much. You can just be like, boom, just start sharing a story, and you already kind of upload like.
Well, we
similar
all have
information.
moments. If you grow up in a state and you've been a part of it, you'll have moments where you're like not happy with the other side, that just kind of burns you a little bit, or moments. And so those things just kind of poke at you, unless you get saved again, and then you're okay. And you can be more at peace about it. But
and then too, I think when you have families that have had children, to be a part of these games, I think about like Isaac. His dad literally played for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Now he plays for State. Like what that home dynamic is like. Or Will Rogers, whose dad and family was all pro Ole Miss, and then he signs Mississippi State. So, I feel like a lot of those things. And then you got to think what helps us is the Egg Bowl was played on Thanksgiving. So, like you were saying, families are around each other.
Oh, yeah.
We're spending time. And then that was like the nightcap, And so I, when I look back at it, it's so many different memorable moments. Because now I'm grown, but I remember as a kid, man, that game would almost make me cry. Like, if you lost that game, it's like
run Thanksgiving.
Man, would it? It's like the same people you just got through laughing and hugging and kumbayaing with. Now you don't want to talk to them no more. You ready to go. Like,
win or lose, it will lead you to another piece of pie.
Nah, that's true.
Celebrate
That is true.
more in morning.
Prepared.
Yes.
But the pie is more enjoyable when you win. Like when you lose, it's almost like, it's just, that is tough, and especially with where I'm from, when you're around a lot of antagonistic people.
That's the stuff.
Like you just can't lose. It's rubbing in. They got to keep rubbing in. Man, now you got to go a whole 364 days.
I got one of our pastors at our church is a massive Ole Miss fan. Great dude. He's fine intentions, but when he gets up and talks about the weekend of football, and I'm just like, move on, go to the next announcement. Like, don't even,
You're in Starkville.
Go live over there.
Those are the worst.
Do you think that it would be better if we didn't have these rivalry games? Like, just for some of the bad things that it produces, does the
I think the good outweighs the bad.
Yeah,
that's me. So. I think the good outweighs the bad. Is because, like you said, one of the biggest upsets when we was ranked 7th, they was 3-6-1. However, I feel like those moments, you if you remove the rivalry, you got to think so many great moments that you are moving.
Yeah,
so much history. I mean, with anything, you're gonna have some cons, but I don't think you should remove a rivalry altogether, because you're talking about a lot of things that, man, that was a part of my upbringing. Like, I'm just saying that I feel like that's a part of my life. Like, you remove that, is.
I think we need to ask Texas and Texas A&M fans.
Yeah, no joke.
That one, because that was such a staple, and then they moved conferences.
And then they didn't play for a while.
They didn't play for a while.
But now they back playing.
Now they are, but there's so many teams in the league. I don't think they're playing every year. Yeah. Or maybe they get them.
Right. Yeah, I still don't think they like each other, but.
No, they don't. But
that's amazing, because you from Texas, Bethany, so I was here, and I think that's location kind of speaks to what we expect sometimes, because we was like here, it's like I was thinking that Texas and Oklahoma was the biggest rivalry. Like, I wouldn't think Texas A&M was as big of a, because what's promoted is the Red River Shootout.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that. Like, you teaching me something today. Like,
well,
I don't know if it's
but then conference alignments. That's changing all
the time.
I mean, with the Pac-12 disappearance, and now you got people on the coast of California going all the way to the ACC.
Right.
You're like, what are we doing? And then Big Tens. So now you got East and West and the Big Ten too, along with the middle. So, and there's so many teams, so that you can't play them every year. That's the challenging thing. And so now we're losing a lot of rivalries because of this alignment stuff. So I'm indifferent. I think it brings the worst out of people. And I don't like that at all. I do like the moments. It's the moments that it produces.
But then, you have this, like, if you have players that seem kind of aloof and like it's just another game, that's a little disappointing to fans that have been part of the history for so long, that are expecting something different. And then they show up and it's like, So, like, I get the energy and excitement.
Yeah, it's something, man.
I don't have a for sure answer on that one.
I mean, I do.
I do.
I don't want them. No, don't do it. Because you got to think.
I don't want to say rivalry. I don't want to remove it at all. Yeah. But it's just
does the good outweigh the bad?
Does the good outweigh the bad?
Well, for me, I'm gonna say at a Mississippi State, with the challenges that we've had over the last few years with sports, we have needed something to kind of.
That's a good point.
You get what I'm saying? We because what I'm saying is because we haven't been a consistently top tier sports program. And it's not me being down on my home, but I'm saying you look forward to something to celebrate the season with.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You got to think, if they win Friday is going to erase all of the games we should have won. We felt like we could have won. You don't even care, because most people would trade all of those losses for this one win.
Right.
As opposed to having all of those wins and we lose this. So I'm saying it gives, it's.
I would love the poll. I'd probably say 99.9% of Mississippi State fans would take all those losses and get Ole Miss out of the playoff.
Oh, man. What?
And then get to a bowl in the same time.
In a heartbeat. Oh. It wasn't even, that ain't even, I don't even think you got to poll that one.
I made a mistake one year saying something.
And vice versa. If Ole Miss was on the other time, they would do the same thing.
Yeah, it might have been to Justin that I said this, but something about how I want to say we weren't ranked as high. And so I was kind of like, there's no shot. And Justin was like, but it's the Egg Bowl.
Yes.
And so also the factor of people maybe playing out of their minds. If, like you can't necessarily say, this is our record, this is your record. Like, this is the obvious story that's going to happen. And it's like, no, it's the Egg Bowl. You better.
And that's what, okay, so they was asking me. So I'm going to make 2 points. Why I'm saying for keeping it. You said your freshman year, y'all only won 6 games, right. But the one you remember.
Yeah.
In Oxford.
Right.
And then I'm going to say this last year, it's just the truth. We wasn't that great at all. But I've never seen a team play so hard in the Egg Bowl in Oxford, and I had a chance to win.
Right.
Because it's like that game pulls something out of you. And I believe this. So this is my theory. If they were better last year and we were worse, and they didn't beat us that bad, and we're better this year, and they're not as good, and we're at home, I'm expecting to wrap this one up in maroon and white.
Oh.
And to send Kiffin out.
I am not saying remove the rivalry. I'm not going to. The rivalry does produce really great moments, and I think gets more out of athletes. Like in any rivalry, as you're growing up as a kid, it produces something in you that would not have been there before. You have to have somebody to compete against, and that multiple times of competing against somebody, whoever that rival is, does produce a better athlete. Yeah. It gets you somewhere that you would not have been there. So, like I get it. I don't like the nastiness that it produces.
Yeah, because there's been stories, not here, but at other schools where people have we
got stuff going on the field. You got fights. You got things, just not pretty things that are not good. I do like what it produces, the athletes, the moments, the outlandish performances that are just.
Like you might see something crazy in a game like that. You might not see all.
Yeah, and people will go down as legends at a school just for their moments against a rival.
You're the standard now.
So I think it's cool opportunities.
You're the standard right now. I want you to know this. Everybody, you just heard a speech from our FCA leader. That is our FCA leader, making sure no matter what, we stay Christian. We stay true to who we are called to be. In spite of our feelings, in spite of outcomes, we have to stay consistent. I like that about you. He's so great. I really consider, should we? You know what? But I think this is what we should do. This is what we should add. Keep doing the rivalry, but before the game, we should have Justin give a speech to both sides. Listen, hey, you all. We don't have to tear each other down.
Him on the screen.
Listen, I know, before the game comes on, you know how they have those people, have him come on and tell them, look, have him. Matter of fact, this will be perfect. Him with an FCA person from Ole Miss and him standing there, they shaking hands, they're talking. We want to win this game. But at the end, we're all on the same team.
Oh, God.
Let's love each other.
Now I get
Let's
people
be
to throw
nice.
stuff on the field right there. Who are these people? Who's this dude?
Hey.
No.
Oh, my face hurt
Hey.
from laughing.
No, but I get it, man, because it has. I will say this, that rivalry, because one of my mentees, I'm his mentor, but he's a diehard Ole Miss fan. So we've had to learn temperance. We've had to, and I've told him at times, we will not talk about these other schools because it gets sometimes in the spirit of competitiveness, getting riled up, and before you know it, you don't want to be around them. You don't want, and I'm like, man, sports is not that serious.
No, and so
Man, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
relational maturity, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be offended. Your team stunk today, or you lost. Like, you can be offended all you want, and somebody can poke the bear in you all they want, but you've got to choose to.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, a couple
take the high
examples
road.
of that I said on the podcast last time, but when Morgan William hit the shot over the UConn girl to bring their streak and go to the I say UConn, what was her name?
Gabby.
Yeah.
It was Gabby Williams. Yeah.
She, the UConn, when we left, the UConn fans that were passing us in the parking lot were very pleasant. Like, they were tipped their cap to, they were like, yeah, y'all were the better team tonight. Like, it could have gone either way, And so, and that's not a rivalry, but I mean, we had lost pretty bad the year before to UConn.
Yeah, but like
so
40.
you got to wait that whole year, and then you get this next matchup, and then you beat them like that. And then the other day, my dad, again, Texas A&M, he said, we were on the phone, and he said something like, oh, you're not going to say anything about Texas A&M? And I was like, Dad, they're just good, like, good job. Like, I don't know. I think that there's some of that is being able to just say, hey, like, yeah, you're great, and not hold this irritation or bitterness or whatever, It's like, no, objectively, y'all are pretty great this year. So good for you, But I will say, y'all have kind of said some of this. There was this quote that I read on one of the articles. It says, make sure you have a proper perspective on rivals and competition. They are often our best teachers, forcing us to reflect on our practices and strengthen our original convictions.
Mm-hmm.
So as an argument to keep rivals, it's a good, like, if you can have a proper perspective on it, if you didn't have that other guy, or in the instance of, Josh and Reed, like, you have these people that can bring the best out of it. It could bring the worst out of you if you make it about jealousy and competition and having to prove yourself. But if you're a secure person, you can look at that and say, how did they beat me? I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch film, or I'm going to do whatever so that I can be better. And if you don't have that competition, who do you have to push you to the next level,
Yeah. But if you're an athlete that's worth your salt, you want to be something in the big moments, in the big games. Rivalry games are those games too.
You got to say that again. If you're an athlete that's worth what?
Your salt. Like, it's just a phrase of, like, if you really want to do this and you want to be an athlete in big moments, like, if you want to be that, and that's why we play, right? You grow up watching these moments and you see those iconic moments as a player, and you're like, God, I want to be in those moments. I want to prepare for that, and I want to win. Then, yeah, you want to play these rivalry games. You want to be the guy. No one else to.
Man.
Like, you dream of that stuff. So, like, why would you want to go or play anywhere else in any other situation and not want to be in these moments?
No, that's a great way to look at it.
Like, to me, I mean, I don't know. I look at it from perspective. I always wanted to play in the SEC because it was the best baseball conference at my time, and it still is. And so I could have gone to USM. Not a knock on USM. I loved people there. Coaches were great, but I wanted to play here. And so
if I can challenge to see if you could play.
Can I play at this level and succeed? And so this is what you're building for.
Income. You're so funny.
And it was proven.
And come through in those moments.
Everybody's a little bit different, but I mean, I don't know. Why play? Why play if you don't want to be?
I will say this. I was at a doctor's appointment, and I mentioned, and he found out, I was married to Justin. And he said, oh, I remember him, and I'm an Ole Miss fan.
Wow.
I know.
That's a compliment.
Like, so this Ole Miss guy knew about that.
Well, it was great to be on a message board and his name pops up. I'm like, I know him. I work with him. Yes, I didn't. And Justin's so humble. Like,
next subject here.
That's the thing. He's so humble. If you didn't know it, you would not know he has done what he has done. But ladies and gentlemen, he has a resume. I just think everybody
And
needs to
I
know
just bring that up because we're talking about rivals, like rivals will even know, like be able to tip their cap to the other. Like, man, yeah, I know that
I
player.
remember him.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yep.
Y'all have any life takeaways from our conversation today?
Well, I guess, keep the main thing. As he's talking about rivalries, sometimes we can get so caught up in the uniforms, and if you're not careful, uh, you can start, not liking certain people just because of a jersey that they wearing, or and not really respecting them, not even considering, some of the things that they have to accomplish. It's like, no, they're not on our team, or they may not, but you have to, be a person of appreciating hard work, perseverance, and that's something that I've had to kind of learn and be mindful of. And I'm just saying, especially in the space of rivalry, because sometimes you can be so into your team and you don't like nothing at all. You're not gonna say anything good, but and I was even thinking about how, for me, seriously, Temperance. That's why I said keeping the main thing. The main thing. I'm a mentor to this guy. He's like my little brother. So it's like you're allowing something that you can't control, something that's not that important, to keep us at times distance.
Right.
And it's like he was saying, maturing in relationships. I feel like those are all great things to kind of to stay mindful of, and then to realize these are moments, and just like they come, they're gonna go. We can't just completely be defined, to these moments. That's why I say keeping the main thing. I think about the people who are in these moments. Like you talked about when the guy act like he was peeing like a dog. And then you have the kicker get a flag, and then the kicker goes out there and missed the field goal. The extra point, you got to think he's having to keep reliving that moment. And some people will hold him to one kick out of all the kicks he's ever made, And so it's like you said, keeping the main thing, always being able to realize moments are moments, and though they can be moments of elevation, for some that are on the flip side of those moments, that's not their proudest moments, but I think it helps us to keep things in perspective.
Especially with social media. Now things can travel a lot faster and be out there for everybody to see forever.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think there's a way to give your best, do your best, honor the game, and honor the people that you're playing. And that's all you can do. That's really all you can do. Anytime you let the game or an outcome of a game dictate and change who you are, I think that's something that you've got to really be honest with and going, okay, how much am I letting this affect me? Like I remember watching this basketball championship. We had to have an FCA leadership meeting right after that, like 15 minutes later.
Really?
And I had a really hard time rated that. That was probably one of the hardest meetings.
This was
because we blew the game.
Abumawale
hit the game.
Yeah,
right?
Notre Dame beat us. We ran. I don't know why but it was really frustrating.
I felt like we were spent.
That's
No, we were spent the year before against South Carolina.
We lost
after we beat you. South Carolina.
That's
Notre Dame. They were in foul trouble. We had all these opportunities to go ahead, and they just stuck around. Could not.
And she hit a bank shot. A bank three from like the side. They did an inbounds play from
I remember that.
But yeah, so it was just so deflating.
Very.
It was so bad. We were like, we got to get ourselves together. We got college students coming over in 15 minutes, and they were and it was the University of Texas students, so they're used to like winning stuff all the time. We're like, y'all, we're in mourning because this could have been our first national championship as a school. But yeah, you were saying that if it changes you or moves your emotion.
Yeah, and it's going to move your emotion.
Sure.
It should. If you got any life, it's going to move. It's going to move you a little bit. But yeah, I just think it can lead to you doing some really stupid stuff and not being yourself to a point where it's too far. Right. You care way too much.
Right. Yeah.
A
little bit of an evaluation.
And then realizing all the stories that play into this. All the stories from that team, all the stories from our team, whatever it may be, and the guys that have worked so hard to get to this place, the coaches that have coached so hard to get to this place. And yes, the outcome turns out the way that we don't want necessarily, that we're the way we do want. You can't discredit all the work that's, I don't know. Sometimes I think we can lose that.
I feel like you can get lost in that, and I'm learning that. Learning to embrace every moment, but also kind of be able to separate moments. Like, don't let one moment define, because like even you was talking about with the national championship that we lost with the women's basketball, it's like you lost that off a last second shot, but they can't diminish the journey. You literally made it back to back. You know how hard that is?
Right.
To go to 2 championships in 2 times? Like, you know, so it's kind of one of those things where, like you said, keeping the main thing. And that's one thing I've learned to do is to respect, to honor, and even take lessons out of everything. You know, you mentioned earlier Ryan Day losing to Michigan. And I was thinking, man, but the mental fortitude to lose a game that you were already pressured going into. You lose it every day. You're getting up. They're talking about you potentially losing your job.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go out and win the national championship. Like that, to be able to let that loss be, this is by itself. We still got too much to play for, too much ahead of us. And to actually go out there and do it, change the narrative, change the conversation, like save his job. You know, like it's like I'm saying, like,
okay, highest winning percentage in college football is right now as well, and he could have lost his job.
It's crazy.
That is,
but it is what I think that what I've noticed in sports is it's what narrative is being told.
yes,
It's what you remember. You know, like that's I think what's so powerful about story is that you can see. You might be watching it and you might try to say, this is what I saw and this is what I remember. But the media will get involved or whatever, and they'll tell you what happened. And then, you know, you miss these other details that, oh, well, he's got the highest winning percentage and we almost fired him because of this one game.
And that's
this is what we're being told is sport.
And that's what happened to Penn State's coach, Franklin. He literally was a game away from the national championship last year. 1 game away. He didn't build them up 1 game away. And because this year they were struggling a little bit, he gets fired. And I'm sitting there like, this is one of the better coaches in all of college football. But like you were saying, the media spins it, they blows it up, and
we get lost in those stories, and then we're like, what's actually happening here? You know, one of the things that I remembered about that Notre Dame game, and then we'll wrap it up, but it's just how some of these rivalries, at least for me, because I watched that game and that hurt so bad. To me, Notre Dame is like a rival in women's basketball for us. Yeah. We played them in I think maybe after the first 4 maybe in the first round of the tournament a few years ago with women's basketball. And I was like, oh, I want to beat them so bad. I think they beat us again. But even in soccer, it kind of becomes a thing for me personally. But other people might not notice.
Yeah.
But it was because I saw that moment and it hurt so bad that now it's really with women's sport. Oh, maybe it would be any sport. But when they played us in soccer, I was like, dude.
It's a women's sport thing.
Yeah.
And they beat
us again. I was like, oh. So it does bother me depending on what the
get back.
I know. I'm like, so to Darius's point earlier, to maybe land the plane of this conversation, how it can apply to life is I think that you were saying earlier, like how you could let these things get to the point where you really don't like a person, don't want anything to do with a person, even get to a point where you hate person, place, whatever, because of these rivalries and how I think that translates to a lot of other areas of life. Like if you can learn this, that we make these lanes that it's like we're so comfortable here, we like this. Oh, we've also found people that like the same thing, think the same way, believe the same way, and we don't want anything to do with those people over there because they think different. That if you do that and live like, it's just going to make it hard as you navigate through life and you have different situations, whether it's a work environment, whether it's a church, whatever. It kind of puts you in this corner where you can't really relate if you have that kind of mindset. So I do think that's kind of a crossover takeaway from how these things can impact you, just a way of your thinking, you know?
Yeah, sports did not create rivalries. It was already in there.
Yeah.
And so the gift of sports is it helps us for life if you approach it that way. You want to defeat rivalry and living from a place of rivalry in your life to where it affects you, then sports can be a great way to teach you those things. And so if you could see it that way, because originally sports was there for formation. Coaches, sports, games, all those things were there because it brought joy, entertainment, it was fun. But you can learn from it. Formation is the heart behind it. Why most coaches, if all of them got into this, is because of formation. And so there's great teaching moments in all of it. And so that goes for the fan as well. Time to learn.
Time to learn.
Time for us to grow.
Any parting shots, Doc?
No, just like you said earlier, keep the main thing. And no matter what happens, win or lose, make sure that you stay with, real respect, love. You don't dishonor people. And this is a great time of year, and so I don't know what you all are going to be doing, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be with some of my family. And it's important to hear that message because a lot of them are on the other side. But hey, I believe that
you're going to be ready.
I'm going to be ready.
I got you ready with this conversation.
Yeah,
got you ready.
Yeah, you have taken. You kind of have teetered. You have teetered some of my excitement.
Well, not you're passionate.
No, I'm going to say not teetered the excitement about the game, but more so not allowing the rivalry to control my emotions, control my mindset. Again, like I said, God already been dealing with me on temperance. So he just used you to kind of reel me in and say, remember.
I'm a very boring person. So I love them, but I'm not going to be the exciting one to stir the pot.
Not too high, not too low.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a pot stirrer. So.
Okay, well, we've enjoyed this conversation. We look forward to seeing the results of this weekend, which we'll find out, obviously, in a few days. But we hope that everybody has a good time if you are able to make it out to the game or watch it, and that we can keep our heads on straight, stay cool, calm, and collected. But we'll look forward to talking with everybody next week, and thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the Created to Be podcast. To learn more about FCA at Mississippi State, visit www.msufca.org and follow us on Instagram at HailStateFCA_. If you would like to become a financial partner, visit www.fca.org/donate to sow into the work God is doing through FCA at Mississippi State.